And when I woke up in the hospital, I was in the bed and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be a doctor. I didn't realize, but this is for my parents. It wasn't one of those obvious things. I want to go back to Los Angeles. I loved modeling. I loved acting. That's what I want to do.
Hey everyone, this is Reyna Torres and we are Women Creating Magic, and I run my own studio, and I decided to start this podcast so amazing women can sit down comfortably with a cup of tea or a glass of wine to relax and have an open conversation about their experience as women in the entertainment industry. My next guest is Amber Pennington. Amber is a very talented actor and model. We collaborated before and our conversation was very meaningful and heartfelt. Please give it up for Amber Pennington. All right, so this is Amber Pennington, and she's here to talk about like how she started what she's doing now, basically. So let's talk about that.
Okay, well, I started when I was very little. My dad kind of got me into stuff. The initial thing was a peanut butter commercial. When I was like 4 years old, I started doing runway modeling. I don't remember this, but when I was 2 for Macy's for their toddler collection. My mom says it was very cute. I don't know.
Oh, wait, a peanut butter commercial?
Yes. My dad brought me and my sister to a casting call, and we both got the part. However, my dad was a little wary on trusting our agent when it came to headshots and stuff. I think, looking back on it now, he didn't realize the cost of headshots and really getting into the industry. Yeah. So he kind of pulled us out of that. But I did theater for a while in school, started to taper off when I was in high school because they do a lot of musicals, and I am not a singer.
I think there's a lot of actors out there that are not singers, but they auto-tune them like crazy.
Yes, yes.
But in the live theater, there's no auto-tune.
Yeah, exactly. No. And I'm just like, I'm not going to subject people to that. No.
I'm so sorry, I apologize.
Exactly. I'm just like, I'd tell my friends, even karaoke.
Did you try? Did you at least try once to do it?
I tried a few times, and I'm very good at harmonizing when somebody else is singing, but I was tone deaf until I was 16. I had a deviated septum that I had to have surgery on, and after the surgery, I could hear myself.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, if you can't hear yourself, you're not gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
Everybody else is gonna be like, what's going on?
Yeah. Me. So I that was okay. Like, I really liked just goofing off, and I went into medical for a while. I wanted to be a veterinarian. Burned out on that. It was just very heavy on the heart.
It is. Yeah.
A lot of respect for the vet techs and nurses and veterinarians out there. It's a tough profession that a lot of people don't understand how hard it is.
Yeah, because it's not just the animal, but you're also kind of hating on people too when they're not taking care of their pets correctly, because you're just like, how did you get it this far along? Like,
like people criminalize or villainize the veterinary staff because they're like, oh, they're only after money, and they're not after money. I've seen the inventory sheets. I've seen how much they pay for being able to run those blood tests in house.
It's expensive.
And God, they don't make money.
No.
With the stuff that they charge for, and
dog insurance is not the best either. So they cover so much. Yeah. So that was the veterinarian, and you're just like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. I tried it for 5 years, and I couldn't do it. So in college, I bounced around from science, and I'm like, okay, I'll do some French, and then I'm like, okay, I need a minor, I'll do theater, and I fell in love with it again. And I also saw the show Face Off, not the movie, the show. And The Grinch was a very big influence on me. I loved the makeup prosthetics that they could do, and I got into the industry initially by being a makeup artist in special effects.
I remember you telling me that, yeah. And people will know that you modeled for me to do this shoot. I'm not going to give too much details, but it was amazing. I keep telling people, like, you guys don't know, when you guys work with a model who knows her body and everything, makes things so much more easier. Because it was just like, oh yeah, never mind. Click, click. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Compared to when you have to direct, because I think
previous to it, I was doing, like, engagements. So, like, that is a lot of direction because they don't know what they're doing, you know? But for you, when I did, I was just like, never mind. Just stand there and do what you got to do. You look amazing. It was awesome. Yeah, so, yeah, you did makeup, right? So
I learned a lot about that, but my roommate got me into acting in front of the camera when I moved out to LA, and I loved it. And then my boyfriend at the time, I expressed interest in modeling, and he made me be brave. He told me he would not ask for me for a boutique that I was interested in because he was their photographer.
okay.
I would have to ask for myself, and he like really hyped me up. He's like, "You're gonna do great. You'll be amazing. They'll say yes. All these things. Just go for it."
Yeah.
And I did, and they said yes.
Oh, good.
So,
good. You need you need. Isn't it weird that sometimes we need that extra person to kind of just push us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. People all the time tell me, "You're so inspirational. You make me go out of my comfort zone," and I'm like, dude, no. Like, if it wasn't for these other people in my life that were telling me they actually believed in me, like, I don't believe in myself unless, like, people always say, oh, and by people I mean the random voices you hear in society where you're like,
Yep.
You have to love yourself before someone else can love you. You have to, like, believe in yourself. You can't have other people believe. No, like, you need the support.
No, you still need it.
Yeah.
Like, I can say I love who I am. Like, I'm a plus-size chick and I love it. And I'm beautiful. But in the end of the day, I still ask my boyfriend to be like, do I look beautiful? Like, even though I know I feel beautiful, I still like that. I still love that. And there's a difference between having to get that because you need it and that's the only source of, like, positivity you can get. And in the end of the day, you still feel like shit. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to do it where you love yourself and when that person gives you more love and you're just like, oh, amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
the best thing.
a validation.
Yeah, it's a
of sorts.
validation. Yeah.
And like I go through that all the time. Also with my fiance, and like I get weird.
Which, congratulations.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
I saw the photos. They were interesting. I love them. Actually,
we loved being weird.
It was weird. I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. It was totally
Our
different.
photographer was like, okay. And I'm like,
You
yes.
have to explain how your photos came out. You have to explain to people why it's weird.
It's weird. Mainly, for me, I think it's weird, or I think people would think it's weird because my favorite photo is our hands, just like this. And we do this because when we were little, we used to make dinosaurs. We both loved land before time, and we'd make dinosaurs. This is a table, by the way. And everyone else, like, my whole life, always thought it was odd. Until close to our 1-year anniversary with Arleo and I just randomly was like, rah. And he's like, wait, is that a dinosaur? And he jumps on the
totally
table
got
right
it.
next to me, and we made little dinosaurs together.
Aww.
So, like, it's been our thing, and for our 1-year anniversary, we made little hand puppets that look like little hand dinosaurs. We have in the photo for the engagement photo, we have our little hands.
I
They're
saw,
kissing.
yeah, it's cute.
And,
I love it. No, it's good. It's so cute. I was like, this is totally her. She can totally do this. Yeah, yeah.
No. And a lot of people always think they're like, oh, elegant, beautiful. I'm like, no, like, yes, for work modeling, let's do the elegant, do the sassy.
Yes.
But for, like, an engagement shoot,
No,
gotta
that's
be yourself.
mostly, well, that's like something all the couples talk about and be like, what do you want to do? Because we don't have to do the standard thing. Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of couples don't know that. But, hey, you know,
Yeah.
that's what you got to tell them. Like, hey, this is what you want.
It's okay
It's
to,
okay.
yeah,
If you
be
wanna
yourself.
If you want to be weird, it's okay.
And weird isn't bad. Weird
No,
doesn't have to
it's
be
not.
bad.
No, I think I would totally do something weird. Not to say that I want to get engaged soon.
Hand.
No.
No.
So, talking about how we need the validation for it, let's talk about when it started, when you were contemplating, thinking about, this is the direction I want to go forward. Being an actress, a model, because you did the makeup. I remember you talking about makeup, and then you kind of started going this direction, which was acting and modeling. When did you started realizing, like, this is what I want to really be doing?
I actually realized that after I left Los Angeles, I went back to Denver to try to finish my pre-med program at my university, and I was nearly killed by a drunk driver. I was riding a motor scooter, 150cc, looked like a Vespa, had very small motorcycle engine, and I had a full face helmet, my protective gear, and a drunk driver hit me, almost stopped, per the surveillance cameras, and left me for dead. He hit me so hard, my helmet literally broke off. My face skidded across the ground. I have scars on my body from it, and when I woke up in the hospital, I was in the bed, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be a doctor. I didn't realize, but this is for my parents. It wasn't one of those obvious things. I want to go back to Los Angeles. I loved modeling. I loved acting. That's what I want to do. And so, yeah, I made that decision on, I think it technically was day 2 or 3 in the hospital.
Oh my God, like, talk about taking the leap in control. It's like the moment of almost death is when you took that control. That's amazing. It makes me want to, like, tear up right now, because it's like, because I don't think you had mentioned that when we had the conversation, but that is crazy.
Yeah.
So in the hospital is when you said, you know what, I don't want to do what they want me to be doing. I want to do what I love to do.
Yeah. And, like, for me, it wasn't I wasn't doing medical, like, because my parents were saying, you have to do this.
No.
I was doing it because I do love learning. I love science. I love all this stuff. But it wasn't, I didn't realize this until the near-death experience, that I was doing it for somebody else. And while I never wish near-death experiences on anyone, because I do suffer from PTSD, I think everyone should have a moment where they're able to fully reevaluate their life, because it was really an eye-opener for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're here. You're doing it. Like, I see your Instagrams and the things you're booking, and I'm just like, so excited. I was like, everybody that I see, I'm always sending, like, positive affirmations. I mean, I'm not telling you, but I'm just like, okay, they're going to do good. They're going to do, like, let the energy go out there. And that's what I end up, like, I always do that all the time. Like, I used to do this thing when I was a little girl. I would pray, because I used to dabble with Christianity and Catholic, and then now I'm more spiritual. So my thing when I did a little girl was that I would pray, and I would just pray for everybody in the world. And I would always say, even if they've done horribly wrong things, I still want good things to happen with them. So now my mantra thing at night, it's more like, let everybody that I know and anyone else that are trying to reach for some point, let them happen, let that energy, whatever good energy you've given me, just spread it out there for everybody else. So when I see things like friends like you and everybody else, I'm always like shooting like positivity for people, because that's what you guys need, like that energy, that frequency, you know, you guys are going to get it. But it's crazy. So you came, that decision, that's huge, by the way. That's huge. You're close to dying, and then you kind of you realized. It opened your eyes. So when that happened and you came back to Los Angeles, what happened then?
I came back to Temecula first, because I moved out here with my ex-fiance, Steven, and we made a compromise that we would live in Temecula because he didn't want to be in the city, which I completely understand. He's not a city person. And I would make the drive. It would be an hour and 45 minutes without traffic.
Yeah, that's a drive.
That's a drive. Yeah. I had a couple of auditions. I did some stuff pro bono. One of the things that I worked pro bono actually got me into a role because the director liked what I was doing. So he got me an audition for one of the supporting roles in his show, which made me SAG eligible.
Ooh, nice. By the way, before I move forward, people need to know you were driving an hour and a half or more.
One way. Yeah.
For someone, people need to hear this, someone who actually went through something and has
PTSD. Yeah. With driving, terrifies me.
And you're still pursuing what you love. That is hard. That's not easy. Yeah, that's not easy. So good for you. Like, that's really great, honestly.
Thank you.
So you got that, and then what happened after?
I actually broke up with my fiance.
Okay.
Because,
which is a good thing because you're now you're
yes.
engaged to the person you love, so that's good. Okay.
And like Steven, he is a great guy, but it wasn't right romantically. And after there was a lot of issues stemming from the accident with that relationship. So I ended up moving to Los Angeles, and ironically, Steven helped me get the job where I met Arleo. The whole reason I met Arleo was because Steven told me, you need to try to get this job. I work in restaurants also, to make ends meet, and I didn't think I was good enough because it was a fine dining place, Michelin mentioned, all these things, and he said, no, you are good enough, go for it. And I got the job. It was a fantastic place, and I worked there for a little bit, got my own little studio house. It was a remodeled 3-bedroom, not 3-bedroom, excuse me, no, not yet, 3-car garage, remodeled to have like a little kitchen and a tiny bathroom and itty-bitty tiny yard for my dogs.
At least that sometimes those things are really good because it's your space. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. And I was doing different shows, trying to get on my feet, even though I was getting different shows. It wasn't ever like something on HBO or that sort of thing. It was little things, which helps, but I had to really grind at, like, nose to the grindstone, work 40 hours a week, come home, do submissions, do auditions, make sure my lighting was set up, make sure my sound was right, retake things because something went wrong with the production, drive to auditions pre-pandemic, and then,
tell me how are you feeling, like, emotionally? Like, mentally, how was all of that happening? Because you're saying everything, but how were you really thinking about all that stuff?
At the time, honestly, it's hard to remember because I do have post-traumatic TBI issues. But I mean, I'm in a better place now, but I will say even now, I get overwhelmed. I have to take a step back. It's like back then it was, this is great because I'm go. I'm finally in this. I'm not having to drive 3-4 hours a day to be able to make it home. I actually am in the center of it all.
It was like you were like a robot, sort of like working. So there was no time to really
to think.
Like, Amber, what's going on?
Yeah.
But now that's a little bit more different. You have time to think about, but you're kind of reflecting, and like you said, you kind of sit back, which is what? Okay to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like my brain is caught up with the situation. But now, like, honestly, more recently, it's been more difficult because I've had successes and I've had failures with there's this whole new culture of in-person auditions don't really exist. And for me, it makes it way harder. I love in-person interaction. I hate self-tapes.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. It's a lot harder for someone to read you when you're recording. Yeah, because it's like one tone.
Yeah, exactly. And like a lot of I've talked to producers from HBO. I've talked to different people who are doing way better than me, and trust me, they have the same fears as I do of failure and stuff. And they're like, oh, it's all about the eyes. Make sure you're well lit. And I'm like, dude, I'm not a lighting person. I do acting and I did makeup. Like, I can do both of those, but like, I don't know how to adjust the lights. I don't know if this is right. So there's a lot of self-doubt even on that aspect. Am I doing this behind the scenes production work correctly? Do I have the sound hooked up correctly? Am I submitting to the right projects? Am I submitting as the right character? I have like 12 different headshots, and sometimes I don't even know which one to pick. And it's like the little things that drive me crazy with it.
It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy.
No.
It's the game has changed, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is that because of these things, you're constantly thinking about it. And like we talked about, laying back in our bed and going through 100 different things and just trying to make sure, okay, are we doing right? Is this right? Is this okay?
Oh, I've had that super recently where I'm like, oh, should I go back to medical school? Oh, it's I'm getting older. I'm 31. Which I'm glad some people think I'm like 25, but
that's not old.
I know. I say that to people who aren't me.
I'm 37.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you can't tell. That's like.
Yeah. Same.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But like that in of itself is hard. The whole age thing with I haven't heard it with males as much as with females, but I had a slump for a good 3 months because I felt like crap. All of the auditions, submissions, everything was 18 to look younger, 22 to look 18, and I'm just like, okay, well, there is absolutely nothing here for me to submit to or have work for. Everyone wants someone that looks like a teenager. Like,
yeah, I know.
Sorry, but not.
That's something like, it slowly will change, but it's slowly changing. Like, it's not turning, which sucks. Yeah. But what is it that makes you, those moments that you're doubting, what is it that helps you kind of just get away from that?
Honestly, taking a step back from everything, there will be times where I don't pay any attention to my acting stuff, or the only acting stuff that I'll do is I will go to my school. I go to school at Spicer and Sturgis, and we do scene study, which really helps. And that also helps me take a step back, talk to people who I know are going through the same crap as me, and also being able to rekindle the fire because we have fun.
Don't we have to always rekindle the fire? Isn't it like a constant thing for us to do? Like, people need to know women, how they operate, is that even though we look like everything's okay, like, we're talking to each other right now, but we know we have 100 different things thinking right now, like the next thing we're gonna do, which is true, we do that.
Oh, yeah.
And those moments that we're feeling low, we're like, okay, how the heck do I need to go up. We know we need to. So we try to find these, surges for us to go up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, like you said, you went out there, you kind of like talk to the community that you're in, and they're doing the same thing, and you're just like, oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
exactly.
not alone. And guess what happens? All of you guys get together, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go back at it. Which is something good. There's something wrong to get back at it again and again and again.
And that happens with modeling too. Like, I will very steadfastly say that models are the least confident people.
Yeah.
Because we are always so negative on ourselves.
Negative on yourself because you don't know what other people are thinking, and you're thinking that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Which I know that, like, pretty sure when I hear it out loud, people would understand what I'm saying. So.
Yeah. No. Yes, absolutely. Like, there was a good little while, like, sometimes in the winter my skin gets a little drier than normal, so my wrinkles are a little bit more pronounced, and I will refuse to go to model casting calls.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh no, they'll see this one wrinkle on my forehead and they won't cast me because I'm ugly and this is terrifying and I won't do this, and like you're always thinking this other person.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You hear it, huh? Like those damn people. No, I'm just kidding. They're saving someone.
I was like, you good.
Okay, they're good. But yeah, you were saying that you don't do winter casting because you notice that your skin's a little bit more drier. So that kind of like makes you step back and say, I'm not going forward.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
It makes you scared. You don't want to be judged by someone you're trying to make a good impression with. And unfortunately, that is the name of the game here. And like, and I personally have some major issues with certain castings with modeling that I've seen where my major issue is putting on a facade a lot of, not a lot, but a good amount of modeling things that I've come across recently are facades of diversity. For example, there was a recent casting that it had diversity in the fact that they were looking for an Asian, a white person, a Latina, and a black woman, but it was a small size Asian woman, a medium size white woman.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too.
Yeah, large Latina, extra large black, and I'm just like, and I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't like, oh, why don't I fit this role? I'm white and I have modeling experience, but I'm a size large it's for underwear. I'm a size large in underwear. I have big hips.
You're tiny.
So, yeah, and
I'm like, you tiny. Like, ugh. Ugh.
And I'm like, if this is how I feel, how the heck does it make other people feel? What?
That's the one thing I really hate about the industry is that I prefer to see people that are like everyday.
That are people. Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Can we have models that are like everyday models?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we just have that? Like, I'd rather see someone like me out there or someone like you out there, and it's normal and it's okay and there's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing when they do. I think I was watching something on TikTok about Kim Kardashian, how skinny she got. And people are saying, are we going back to that? Are we going back to the early 2000s? Like, when it was, what was her name? Lizzie Lohan.
Oh.
How skinny she was. And what was her name? The other one, Paris Hilton. So there was a time where they were like super skinny and that was a trend, that was the thing, and I'm just like, no. And then they were talking about like, how did we go by like, you know, BBL like being all like voluptuous and stuff, and now we're going back to the stick. And I'm just like, that's the thing, is that we need to let everyone know that it is a normal thing to be normal, whatever size you
Exactly.
are.
And I'm glad you say that, because one of the things that really pissed me off with body positivity and diversity, and I use quotes because there was a lot of bashing on tiny people, like skinny people, and I've heard very negative stuff, or you've only gotten blah 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 because you're this size, and or like when body diversity started coming out, a lot of companies only cast plus size, and I'm like, no, it's diversity.
It should be small, big, medium, and they shouldn't. Okay, and that's the thing about it. You're thin, and people would be like, "Oh, you probably starve yourself to get that because
people
you're a
do that all the
model."
time.
And I'm like, not a lot of women that are thin probably eat a lot, and they just like that's just their genetics. That's who they are. And plus, if I work out and eat healthy, like.
No, people will make fun of me because I eat more than they think I eat.
And it's funny for me is because I'm a plus size chick, they think I eat a lot, and I'm just like, my tummy's like the size of this hand right now. Mine has never stretched. I have someone over here can prove, like, I like to snack. I can't eat a full meal. Like, that will fill me up, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up. It's like people's thinking like,
yeah, it's
what the heck?
And it drives me nuts too, because like you touched on the workout thing. I used to be a personal trainer, so like I'm extra analytical on how like metabolism and everything works, and people just are talking out of their butts with it, which I kind of understand, because this is what they were exposed to and what they think is the truth, and kind of I will be annoyed by it, but I'll take social responsibility to say, okay, I'll educate you on why this is wrong.
Yes. Yeah, because when I started, like, I just told, like, we need to start working out. I need to feel better. Like, I need to do this. But I told them I don't want to do a lot of cardio. I really just want to do weights. But before I started working out years ago, I knew the big key was eating healthy. And that means not calling it a diet.
Oh, yeah.
Because the minute you do that, it's already a negative response.
And it's a temporary thing.
Exactly. You need to learn to eat healthy and love what you eat. And it's okay to eat junk food once in a while. That's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's not going to, like, starve me.
Yeah.
But
moderation.
It's learning how to eat what you love and moderation and healthy. and then work out. Because what do the people say? Like, workout is just like a 10% kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, it's 10 to 20%, and then the rest is nutrition.
Exactly. So I had to learn to eat healthy before I can even work out. And at the time, it really worked. It works. It works. We're constantly, like, literally, I have a book in here, and it's a keto diet. But I just did it because it's, like, really good recipes. And did we not do a recipe, right? Aunt, producer, director. So we totally did, like, one, and I'm just like, this is really good. And it's, like, super healthy. Like, what the heck? Like, we need to do more of these things. But, yeah, it's, people just don't know. Don't know.
Yeah. And like it's okay to ask for help too. And what people don't get also is I learned this back when I was studying exercise physiology. Everyone has a set point.
Yes.
My set point is how I am now. Some people have the set points of being 200 pounds, and that's okay as long as they're taking care of themselves.
Yes.
Like they shouldn't be shamed no matter what size.
No. Like for me, it's like I tell him, I want to work out because either way, I know I used to be like 140 to 160, depending like winter and summer. Now that I've got, after that, I was like 200. And I told him, like, I've always stayed that. I never went lower, but I never went higher. I always stayed there. And I've told him recently, I feel like I really need to go, like, we need to push it. But this time, I need to change my whole regiment. Like, I need to stick with this meal plan and, like, just stick with it to kick off and then just do weights. Like, the less cardio for me, more weights. So, but it's crazy. It's true. Like, if you don't educate yourself or learn and really, like, TikToks. This is what I eat in the morning. Like, this is what I eat. Like, this is what burns me. And I'm just like, what?
Just like,
what was that? Like, they'll do lemon.
There'll be like 5 berries, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. They'll do like lemon with warm water, and like a bowl of like a chia with a little bit of milk and a little bit of this, and I'm just like, that's not gonna do anything for you. Like,
something that you need to be able to know how to do it safely.
Yes.
And that's the
and it
scary
depends
part
what you're
too.
doing on the day too. People need to understand that what you eat is based on what you're doing that day. So if you know you're going to be more productive and you're going to be moving, then you're going to have to go based on what you're doing eating that day.
And at least be prepared. Like, I get it. Some people can't do a lot of breakfast, or they don't do any breakfast.
I can't do a lot of breakfast.
Yeah.
But
so
I know
just,
I
like,
need
snacks.
a snack on. Well, what I used to do is oatmeals. Just oatmeals, and it would be like overnight. So I just eat it if I need to. I could just like eat it really quick because I know I need the energy in the morning.
Yeah.
But that's it. Some people could do full blown breakfast, but I always go based on like I always go based on like what I'm doing that day. Basically, if I know if I'm going to be super like active in the morning, I know I need to eat something.
I'll get little snacks too, like to have in my car just in case.
I do too.
Yeah.
I just like snacking all day, but my snacks always have to be like I have to pick really healthy, low salt, low sugar because you're snacking all day. So I'm always constantly doing that, unless dry, dehydrated fruits, less carbs. I have to be like you have to know at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Anyways, all of this diet stuff.
I digress.
Yes. But I'm really happy that you talked about your story because that's such an impact for, it wasn't just like I woke up and I decided to do this. You're just like, I almost died.
And I didn't realize it was so dramatic until like a week ago when I was thinking about it. Like when I was in the hospital, I told my personal training client that came in, she was a friend as well, and I'm like, hey Julie, I'm going to be running the Tough Mudder in 3 months. I had a broken pelvis in 6 spots, a broken spine, rib, and face. I was not doing, but I was ready. So ready.
You're like, I'm ready to go. Even though I'm here.
I'm like,
this
we're
is
done.
happening.
We're done. I'm gonna go take my
No,
shower.
but that's the thing. Like we do these things as women, and we make these goals, and we hit them, regardless of what it is. And it may come off stubbornness and stuff. It's not. It's not being stubborn. It's following what we want to be doing.
And people always say it's like you're such a risk taker, and I'm like, yeah, but they're calculated. They are calculated risks.
Thank you for saying that, because a lot of people don't know that when we're doing this, it's been thought 100 freaking times in our head before we even took the leap to step on it.
Yeah.
We're already saying, okay, if it doesn't work out this way, we're going to go in this direction. Okay, if it doesn't work this way, we'll do this. Okay, no, this way. Yeah, it's very calculated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many people, like, people have told me, oh, you're just having fun in LA. You're having fun. I'm like, do you realize how hard this is?
It's hard.
Like, constant rejection.
Constant.
Usually, like, you get acceptance when you're least expecting it. The things you work the hardest on, I lost a role because of COVID, actually, that meant the world to me. I'm very proud of it. Right now, the producer and director are keeping me in the loop on how it's going because I got the lead. Mm-hmm. But then, because of the crazy COVID stuff that was going on at the beginning of this year, I actually caught it. And I'm going to tell you the whole story real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
We did the rehearsals, everything. We were ready to start shooting. So I did my COVID test. We did the rehearsals because we were good. I did another COVID test. And 3 days later, we were supposed to shoot. 2 days later, I got the result at 4 o'clock in the afternoon that it was positive. So I went to call the producer. Right when I went to call him, his phone number came up. He was calling me. And we were talking to each other. And I'm like, I'm going to get an emergency PCR right now. I went. It was supposed to be a 30-minute one. It took an hour. Which was not good because once the producer got the results, which was negative, where it would be allowed on the set, he was trying to get a hold of the COVID compliance unit. And for God knows what reason, little backstory, everything is open. Everything is 24/7 in the acting industry. They'd expect you to drop everything on a dime to get things done. The COVID compliance unit closed, and he couldn't get a hold of them. So they had to pull me and give the lead to someone that they didn't actually want as the lead. And it destroyed me because it was... Sorry, I might get a little emotional here.
No, don't.
I have disabilities, obviously, from the accident. And this film was about a woman who was becoming disabled. And going blind.
She spoke to you, basically. It was
immensely
relatable.
Yes. And, like, I look fine here. I have terrible vision, horrible vision. So, like, it felt like I was being accepted finally. Mm-hmm. And, like, it was really exciting because I was going to work without my contacts, so I would be able to live in it more, and I wouldn't be judged for having these disabilities. It was actually celebrated in a way. And then it was all taken away. So that actually, I took a break for about 3 months because it hurt so much that I lost that. But yeah, got back into it. But
so what helped you? What is it that, like, you kind of...
Time.
Time.
Honestly. Obviously it's still rough to talk about.
But they're still keeping you in the loop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a good thing. Not a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
right? Especially in the industry. They don't keep you. They don't do that.
Yeah. They're very sweet, and I try to make sure that I'm able to support them as much as I can. I'm not gonna lie, there's jealousy when I see the other person on, like, the poster for the movie, and I'm like,
which is
that was supposed to be me.
Which is okay. That's the thing you need to hear. It is okay to feel that. In the end of the day, to feel jealous, to feel like, shit, that should have been me. That is perfectly fine. That's growth. That's learning, you know. Maybe it'll push you to do your own, you know, short film in regards of that. Maybe something in regards of what happened to you.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah, if you're feeling it so passionate about it and you're feeling like you want to tell your story, tell your story. Mm-hmm. You know? Start working on something, you know? Get a journal, start writing about it, maybe start, you know, you'll be your own lead to your own film.
I've thought about that. Honestly, I would love to find a writer because I'm not much of a writer. I can do directing, I can do acting, and I can do makeup. Mm-hmm. But writing,
no, but that's
not
the thing.
much.
The good thing is that you can always journal.
Mm-hmm.
And journaling with a writer works.
That's true.
Yeah. Right now it's speaking so much in volume in you that it just seems like you really need to tell your story. Yeah. You do.
But I want to.
You
now
should.
that I've had time to.
You know? You should totally do it. Like, maybe the remainder of the year, just write about it, see what it's about, and get deep in regards of it. And then that will help you make a decision. You should totally do it. Yeah, because it still hurts you.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't think
if
it ever will
hurts,
stop.
No, I think it won't stop until you really do something about it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. And I've done a lot of therapy, both physical and mental.
Yes, but I feel like because you're part of like this industry, I want to say that that's your way of, you know, letting it out. That's your healing process. You should definitely, like, if people are telling you to do it, you should definitely look into it. Yeah.
True.
But you got our support too for it too. So you're not alone. You have so many friends in the same industry that can help you out with it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary, though. It's scary.
It is very scary. Yeah. I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna film 2 things, and one of them I'm gonna direct on my own, and the other one is gonna be co-direct with Anthony. It's us doing fun, you know, like fan film. It's called Ocean Before 11. So it's Ocean 11, you know, the whole franchise of like these men, rat pack kind of thing going on. So we're doing one that it's him before he became this great guy that steals everything.
That's everything.
Yeah. So it's like a backstory in regards of him growing up. Yeah, we're doing a short film, and I told him like we need to start writing about it already because I really want to film it by the end of the year. So
That's cool.
yeah.
I'm helping one of my writer friends produce a feature that he wrote. Kind of produce. Like, I've gotten in touch with one of my friends like 2-3 years ago. So it's been in the works for quite a while. And they're doing a lot of the producing stuff and the directing stuff, and then I'm doing the producing stuff of like finding the actors, figuring out who the makeup artist is going to be, because like even though I have the experience, I stopped doing makeup because I hated dealing with the divas that are in the industry.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd rather work alongside as an actor than, oh, this blush is too much, or this is too much mascara. Just let me do it. And I'm just like, for God's sakes, just can you let me do my job? I'm not telling you how to act.
Yeah, that's true. And plus, sometimes, you know, the director would be like, I really want them to be looking like this. And you're like, honey, he wants you to look like this, so we're going to have to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then my ass is in the line. It's like, what happened to makeup here? Yeah. No, this thing I'm doing, like we said, we think about it, we strategize in our head, and it's something I want to do quickly, but I already thought about it, like, this is what I want to do. And it all started on my birthday.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. The inspiration hit then?
Yeah, because we were at this Korean restaurant late at night, and it was just me with a bunch of guys. We're all eating my favorite food, and I was just like, they were all acting dumb, but they all have like this individual personality, which is awesome. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool to do like some sort of fan film like Ocean 11? And it started that way, and then it sticked in my head, and I'm like, why are you still sticking in my head? And I kept thinking about it, and then one day I just tell them like, wouldn't it be cool if we did like Ocean Before 11, like Daniel Ocean before like he became who he is now, like someone who's like not so like, you know, cleaned, you know, someone who doubts, someone who's just like not there yet, and yeah, so we're taking care of that.
That's cool. That's exciting. That's exciting.
I'm fun for that. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy we had this conversation. It was amazing. I love it. Your story resonates super strong with me now that I know more details about it, because we talked about it, but this is way more detailed. Yeah. And then the whole thing, I say, you know, do your story. I think you should do your own story, because that's crazy. Like, if it resonates this way with me, can you imagine how many people?
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
And now I know like more people that.
Yeah, we're totally down. Yeah.
I want to make it quality. If I'm gonna make it, I want to make it quality. And I know I couldn't do that by myself. So like.
No, you have friends.
Yeah,
we're friends.
And you kept asking, what's some of the stuff that got you through? Friends, and my pets.
Yeah,
pets.
Them. Yeah, pets. Yeah, for me it's friends, pets, children, boyfriend.
In that order.
Yeah, in that order. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for everything. Yes. And then I just want people to know where they can reach you out. Like, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram. It's my name, Amber Pennington Official. Trying to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
you know?
we'll have it there. We'll have a link there. So, yeah.
And then if anyone's interested in the modeling stuff, I'm also on Model Mayhem. And my little username is, just look up on Google APENNI12 and it'll come up with my profile.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you so much, Amber.
Thank you.
Yes.
This was so much fun.
So much fun.